Hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me is my guy Bobano, back on another Tuesday edition. I almost forgot what day of the week it was of Say Hey Plays. Bobano, it's nice to see you. It feels like I tend to do well on Tuesdays and Fridays, so I'm excited about today. Need to have a good day today, and I've got a pretty loaded card, as I assume you do as well.
Hey, when you've got the first massive amount of, chance to relax and downtime as I have all year, you forget the days sometimes, and I know that sometimes. But I never forget when it's time to do this show on Tuesdays. But yeah, good to be back. The baseball season just keeps. This is the time of year where it does start to feel like, it's grinding along, right? I mean, we're almost at the All-Star break. I think we're all ready for maybe a little breath from baseball for a few days coming up in a couple of weeks. And certainly for me, it just continues to be this never-ending pattern after a terrific April where it's just been back and forth, up one day, down the next, up one day, down the next. It's basically been that way now for 2 months. But hey, we're not giving back everything we made in April. So that's the positive news.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's the opposite for me. I obviously started off like shit. I've had my hot streaks. I've had my mini cold streaks, but I haven't gotten cold enough to where I'm back in the dumps, which is good. So I'm just waiting for that another pass at a hot streak here, because it's quite funny how streaky of a capper I can be. It's very fun. But I'm excited to talk to you about, man. We've got a good card here coming up, and I've got plenty of action, and I probably will add more action, which will make things even more fun tonight. Shout out to everyone in the chat as always. Jay Stone, Rocco, Justin, appreciate you guys. Let's get into game one of today, and it's a tough one. Cincinnati Reds, Baltimore Orioles here. Andrew Abbott's been a machine since he's come up. He gave up his first 3 runs in his last start. It only took 3 starts to get there. I guess 4, actually. But he's been a beast. And plus 124 here is obviously very appealing to me. But I'll be honest with Ben, it did ring alarms for me that maybe this might be a lineup that he sees and gets touched up with. Tyler Wells, another good pitcher, 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned against the Tampa Bay Rays last time out. And before that, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against the Toronto Blue Jays. Last 2 weeks, obviously the offensive numbers for the Reds have just been ridiculous. 124 weighted runs created plus against righties. This month for the Orioles, 12th, 101 weighted runs created plus. So they're just generally fine, about average. Market-wise, real quick before I pass it to you, because I've got no action on this game. I'd lean Reds, but I just have some alarm bells ringing, I guess. 62% of bets on the Reds, but only 23% of the cash on them. 77% of the money on the Baltimore Orioles there at only 38% of tickets is alarming. It's alarming. So if I had to guess, gun to head, I just said I would pick to the Reds, but honestly, if the juice didn't matter, I guess it would be the Orioles there. And totals wise, real quick, 63% of the bets and 46% of money on the over there. So slightly bigger bets on the under in this game as well. You can kind of see why with both good pitchers out there. So I had nothing on this one, Bobano. Like I said, what about you?
I think it's a good under spot, but I don't love betting unders with these 2 lineups right now, but it's a perfect under spot. I mean, I cashed a first 5 full game over last night, and in spite of rain delay, and sometimes which can be bad news for overs, it got there, mostly thanks to the Orioles lineup. But now you had a long night last night because of the delay, coming back now with better pitching on both sides. I could see this being, a bit of a lower scoring game, but do you want to step in front of these 2 lineups, which have been hitting pretty well lately? I'm not so sure. The bottom line is I don't want to go against either team. I don't want to go against Baltimore. I don't want to go against Cincinnati with their great streak, even though they finally have lost a couple in a row. And I don't want to go against either of these starting pitchers because I like them both. I like Andrew Abbott for the Cincinnati Reds. I think he's got upside. It's the first time for Baltimore seeing him, but there's absolutely no way that I go against Tyler Wells. If anyone's been watching my appearances on Betting with the Bag in this show, I sing the praises of Tyler Wells every time he's pitching. He is a good pitcher. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to hit his spots. He knows how to keep opposing hitters off balance. He's been a K-prop machine for me lately, repeatedly, just going back to that well. And that's the way I'm approaching this game. Taking everything out of it. No need to bet totals. No need to bet money lines. I don't want to go against either of these pitchers. Well, we go on them, with the strikeout prop. I think both of these guys can hit their strikeout props tonight. Andrew Abbott is someone that's gone over his strikeout prop multiple times since joining this Reds rotation. And I just talked about how Tyler Wells has been an automatic going over his strikeout prop, which is only, again, 5.5 tonight, minus 120 at FanDuel. So I like both of these guys to go over the K prop tonight. Abbott for the Reds, over 5.5 strikeouts, even money, and a little bit of juice, minus 120. That same number, over 5.5 strikeouts for Tyler Wells.
I'm sure you don't have the numbers by chance, but I've seen you've been doing the dueling strikeout props a little bit this year. How have they been going for you? It seems contradictory.
I'd say around 500, to be quite honest. That's been the record. But I'll tell you what, I end up feeling happy at the end of the day that I picked both guys and not the one guy that lost. I've had some of those occasions where, I was almost going to just take the one pitcher, which would end up losing, and didn't take the other starter in that game, which a lot of times has ended up being the one that's cashed. And I have had a few that have gone 2-0, where we've swept the board with them. So, and it's not that it's a planned attack or anything to have both pitchers. It's just, they just happen to be pitching in the same game, and I think they're bet on pitchers. They've definitely got swinging strike rates that apply to pitchers that you think are going to get Ks, and it also helps that, Wells and the Reds aren't familiar with Wells. The Orioles aren't familiar with Abbott, so it's a good matchup here, I think, for both of these guys to hit over strikeouts.
Beautiful. I love the breakdown, Bobano. Shout to Troy Torrance, Rick J, Rocco in here, like you mentioned. He's on the Orioles, -1, a little Austin Hayes home run props and bases there. Shout out to my guys there. And shout out to Troy, by the way, his birthday yesterday, the All-American birthday yesterday. So shout out to him as well.
Happy birthday.
Rem Most joining us as well. Shout out to you, Rem Most. Appreciate you, my man. Padres, Pirates. And we have a pitching change here. Reese, I'm not going to even bother going to try to say his name. We'll just call him Reese here. Pitching for the Padres instead of Yu Darvish. Had me completely stay off the game. Honestly, I still lean Padres just because ultimately we're looking to fade any lefties against the Padres because they're the first best offense in baseball, 142 weighted runs created plus in this month against lefties, fourth best for the season. So it's a pass, but maybe you still luck with the bet to the Padres. You can maybe say you got a cheaper price without Yu Darvish out there now.
I like the over a little bit here. I think, again, Padres against a lefty, that should be good for the Padres. They've been good against southpaws lately, but at the same time, I mean, they still have those games that drive you nuts, like those 2 games against Washington where they just didn't hit, and they were starting to come to life a little bit offensively. The last game against San Francisco and then the first game against Washington, they put up a bunch of runs, and they go ice cold again, in the last 2 games. But in theory, this is a good matchup for the Padres against Rich Hill. I'm not a big fan of Reese Neer either for the San Diego Padres. The question's going to be, can you trust the Pirates lineup to hit any pitching consistently? That's always the question mark when it comes to them. But I definitely think they're capable of it. And the one thing we've seen from San Diego's bullpen lately is they're not exactly a shutdown group right now. The back end of their bullpen, we saw them collapse against San Francisco a couple of times, give up runs to Washington over the weekend. So the over's the way I looked here, smaller bet.
Yeah, no, I agreed there. I can't blame you there. So I ultimately would lean that way, but the market in this game is weird too, because it seems like the sharps are always taking the Pirates too. 27% of the bets and 78% of the money on the Pirates on the money line. But I just ultimately don't trust the market moves in this game, especially because of pitching change. So pass game for me here as well. Let's talk about a big game for all of Canada here. Toronto Blue Jays, San Francisco Giants here. I'll mention the market real quick, but I'll let you take the reins on this one, Bobano, because I had nothing on this game, and it seems like it's a Gausman and Alex Wood primary day for them as well. So market-wise, real quick, let's go money line first. 68% of the bets and 92% of the money on the Toronto Blue Jays there. Totals-wise, 50-50 ticket split, 65% of the money on the under there. I think it's going to be a good game to watch. I just don't know if I could lay, such heavy juice with, Gausman and how the Blue Jays have been hitting, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe Vladdy's gotten his shit together. Maybe he's starting to lift the ball. If I had to bet this game again, it'd be maybe like a Gausman and get the win. And I can actually bet those now. Shout out to Bet Online, our friends there. Go sign up for an account today on the Pub Sports Radio website. But ultimately, I had nothing on this game either, Boban. I'll take it away here.
I like what you're thinking there with Gausman to record the win at a nice plus 115 price at DraftKings PointsBet. They offer that prop. Yeah, I like it. I like Gausman over strikeouts, but that's nothing different there. Nothing new there. We've been on that prop repeatedly with Kevin Gausman on the mound. Over 6.5 strikeouts is what it is at around minus 140, minus 150. I definitely think he can get 7+ Ks in this game against the Giants. Ryan Walker, we'll see how he fares here. Again, this is a little bit of a different outside the box kind of start for him. Now you're going on the road. You're facing a lineup that's starting to get their act together, especially Vladdy Jr. Vlad has been it's been almost like a relief, if you will, to actually see him start to hit the baseball and go opposite field again, which it looked like he had lost all confidence and ability to do that, to drive the ball into the alleys, into the power portions of the ballpark. Again, that's what has been missing all season long. Finally fucking hit his first home run of the year at home over the weekend as well. Hard to believe, but that's big news for the Blue Jays, no question. So it makes you wonder if they're going to get, this offense is due for like one of those hot streaks where they're putting up 5-6 runs a game consistently. We know they should be capable of it, and much of the season they haven't been capable of it. So I definitely think decent spot for the Jays. The -0.5 and the -1 run line split, I did look a little bit at that, plus the strikeout prop for Gausman and the record a win at plus 115. So really sprinkled evenly across all four of those.
Yeah, well, and like Troy Storins is saying, when the public and sharps are on a home team, the books move accordingly. They win at an incredible rate. Yeah, this is, I forget what it was earlier in the day. It was like minus like 150 or something like that. And it's had like such a dramatic move to the Blue Jays here. So you're very right.
Two of my favorite television broadcasts, if I had to pick two of the ones that are, pretty good in Major League Baseball, these two teams, Giants with Kuiper and Kruko all these years.
What are you watching today?
And of course, Fleming, what's his name? Dave Fleming fills in sometimes. John Miller, the great longtime voice of Sunday Night Baseball, will fill in on the Giant games on television every now and then. So they got a good crew. Everybody's good. Fleming's good. Miller's good when he fill in. And Dwayne Kuiper's a legend. He's absolutely terrific. And Kruko, of course, as well. And then you got Dan Shulman and Buck Martinez on the Blue Jays side. So you got good broadcasts here.
Who are you going to watch tonight?
Normally with Dan Shulman, I just go with Dan Shulman. It's hard to say. Yeah, there's someone better than Dan Shulman. To me, there's not.
All right, beautiful. Excellent little breakdown there, Bobano, as well there. Let's move on to Marlins Red Sox here, and I've doubled up on the Red Sox, unsurprisingly to many. Red Sox money line minus 119 and first five money line minus 119 as well. Line has moved their way. It was minus 115 earlier today, now minus 125. And I think, obviously Sandy Alcantara, what are we going to get from him? He's just not been that guy this year. I guess all of his life force and powers got switched onto Yuri Perez. It's actually scary, Bobano, that the Marlins are this good and Sandy Alcantara has not been that good this year. And they'll be getting Jazz Chisholm back as well. He was reinstated off the IL. I need to actually double check. I want to see if they have confirmed lineups. They do have confirmed lineups in this as well. And Jazz Chisholm hitting fourth, playing center field. By the way, he's actually playing a good defense for center field too. So shout out to Jazz Chisholm as well. So, but it's scary, Boban. I'm not going to lie. Both of these lineups, especially the Red Sox at home, the Red Sox are much better at home offensively. Their fifth full season against righties at home, 117 weighted runs created plus. On the road, it's always just sketchy. But if I'm betting the Red Sox, I should bet them more at home than on the road, honestly. So I just took the Red Sox minus 119 and first five minus 119 as well, thinking Garrett Whitlock can have a nice day here, pitch well, and just outduel Sandy. And obviously, I'll be watching Luis Arraez because I don't have this fact checked. Unfortunately, I'm not Sarah Langs, and I don't have my databases up. But fairly certain if he just has a nice little 2 for 4 day or whatever it'll be to get him above to 400 again, he'll probably be the last guy or the next guy, the latest guy to hit 400 in Fenway Park. The last dude to do it, obviously, Ted Williams. So that would be interesting to see if he can be that next guy to step in there and step into Fenway Park being a 400 hitter this deep into the baseball season. So shout out to him. I'll be watching the game. Red Sox first five full game. Bobano, what about you?
I didn't do first five, but I did do full game for Boston here. With the day off, I figure their bullpen's been replenished, and should be in a decent amount of shape here. And again, in this game against Miami, Miami's bullpen suddenly, again, that Pittsburgh series, had showed some cracks in it. So I definitely think there actually might be a slight bullpen edge to the Red Sox here. And Sandy's just been very disappointing. He's getting hit. He's given up home runs. He's given up hard hit contact. He's given up usually at least 4 runs in recent starts. He's not striking out anybody. This guy used to be a good K-prop guy. You can't even you can bet K-props, just bet him under every game because he's not going over any K-prop lately. This guy, I mean, it's just what a fall from. It's not Alek Manoah type fall from last year, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean, considering how great he was last year, and it's just he's been way below average this year. So. And I like Whitlock. Whitlock seems to be someone on the rise a little bit here for the Boston Red Sox. So I'm with you here with the Red Sox as a short home favorite.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game. And shout out to my dad, Jimmy. He's on the first 5 over in this game as well, expecting runs. So shout out to him. Market-wise, real quick before we move on, let's go to the Red Sox game. 50-50 ticket split for the sidewise, but 79% of the money on the Boston Red Sox. So that feels like a great sign there. For Red Sox bettors, obviously the lines moved accordingly. So if you got in there early, you're feeling good about yourself. And alarmingly, you're scary for my good old dad, Jimmy. 37% of the bets and 72% of the money on the under in this game. Line went from 9 to 9.5. So maybe that's a good sign with all that money. It still doesn't move back down. So we'll see. And Mark Campbell saying Whitlock to record the win plus 180. It's kind of tough.
The problem with him is sometimes he'll go 4.2 innings. That's
what I was about to say.
Bet.
Yeah. It's like you have to go 6, and I could easily see him going 5.
Yeah. It's important to always remember that with the pitcher win prop bets is that you want a guy that's going to give you the length. Someone that's going to go 6 innings, 7 innings for you, so they'll at least be in line for the win. When they leave the game and they depart the game. So that's important part of the handicap there.
100%. So brush up on your major league rules about how a pitcher gets a win as well out there. But length is just the issue there. Let's go to the the Mets are in just disarray. It's getting so bad. Boban, I don't know if you've seen this. I saw Billy Epler talking to the media today. Steve Cohen has already tweeted out that he's going to have a press conference tomorrow. Honestly, if the Mets had an off day today, that for me, that's like, what's his name's about to get fired. Their manager, whose name escapes me at the moment.
I don't think it's a Showalter problem, but at this point, it wouldn't shock me whatever they do.
Yeah, the reason I'm on, I officially shifted to team. Maybe Buck Showalter should leave. After that,
his actions Sunday were bad though.
Yes,
bullpen management or mismanagement.
That's what
I've never seen Buck.
Yeah,
have a blunder like that.
Same decision. He made the same decision he did with Zach Britton all those years ago, just saving the relievers and it was crazy.
Saving for a rainy day. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy to me. So, the manager is one of his main jobs as a manager is to be like the commissioner of vibes. He has to get that clubhouse feeling differently. And I just don't think Buck Showalter is that guy here. And, oh my gosh, I cringe as I even say this, Bobano, but if we're looking for a vibe change, Joe Madden is just chilling somewhere, some pool, probably in Florida, just waiting for a call, I'm sure. So
how about getting someone new? How about a young manager, someone that's rising through the ranks of the Pacific Coast League or Single A and Double A or Triple A, someone that's toiled around down there for ages but has worked their tail off and developed players. And how about you give someone like that a chance? Why do we always have to go the old fucking relic route, the old dinosaurs and the old guards, Joe Madden and all these fucks that have been around for ages? Come on, I think we got to give young guys a shot.
I would love for the Mets to have some balls and hire my guy, Omar Lopez, first base coach for the Astros, a.k.a. the manager of Team Venezuela for the World Baseball Classic, even though he might have displayed some questionable ability to run a bullpen, especially when you leave someone in the 8th inning, when you have Jose Alvarado warming up. Still very bitter about that. But yeah, I agree. And, maybe they keep Showalter on because they want him to finish the season, whatever. But this Mets team is in free fall. You don't see that kind of stuff happening very often. And I honestly think he might get fired. I really do think he might get fired. And who knows? I don't know why they're going to do this, but I'm on my guy TJ's gift here. And shout out to TJ. He's on Brewers first 5 plus a half at -110. We have the pitcher advantage. David Peterson is just bad. I have no faith in him pitching well. And I understand that the Brewers are horrible against lefties.
It's the one concern I have, yeah.
The Brewers are horrible against everybody, though. They just can't hit at all. So I'll take my chances here with Julio, who's been, again, I don't believe that he's going to be a fucking Cy Young all-star pitcher after 2 years, of being off, just hanging out. But I think he can beat up on a downtrodden Mets squad while they're just at their lowest ebbs right now. So I took that first 5 plus a half here, and then we're going to rock and roll with it. But, Banna, what'd you have in this game?
See, I want to fade the Mets at every opportunity, just like last night. And I said this on Twitter. I mean, if you're going to bet baseball second half of the season, you've got to really pay attention to hot current form and the hot teams and the ice cold teams. And if the hot teams or the cold teams are overvalued and overpriced, you just bet against them. Who gives two shits about the pitching matchups? Who cares that Verlander was pitching last night? Does anybody really think that was worth the Mets being -180 home favorites last night in that game with the shit show that's going on with the terrible season they're having, and they can't get a clutch hit? Starting pitching's have been underwhelming. The bullpen's just a complete shambles right now. That was just they urinated themselves, that entire relief corps on Sunday against Philadelphia. I mean, it just that's the profile of a -180 favorite. No, just like tonight, Peterson, who's not good. The lineup is not a clutch hitting lineup. Bullpen's still a mess, and they're still -150 in some places tonight against the Brewers. No thanks. For me, Milwaukee +130 was one of the first bets I made on this card. Full game. I'm just going right to the full game because I want the bullpen disadvantage for the Mets on my side. I know you went first 5, Jose, but I'd rather have full game. I want the Mets disaster of a bullpen going for me in this fade of the New York Mets once again tonight, because I like that Milwaukee pen. That's been pretty good lately. I like Devin Williams, in the closer spot, and they're bridged from the starter to the closer has been good lately for Milwaukee as well. And look, Tehran is going to regress at some point, but he's definitely performed better and pitched better than I thought. And certainly than a lot of people did. And it's not like he's facing a lineup that's got a boatload of confidence right now. So, yeah, pretty easy decision for me. Milwaukee at a plus price against this terrible, falling apart Mets team.
All right, I'm joining you full game as well. So I'll double up the Bobano split, first 5 plus a half. I got it at -115, and I just took full game, +133 actually at our friends at Bet Online. Again, if you guys need a book, and you guys, maybe you live in Texas where maybe these things are frowned upon, go to Bet Online. It's on the link to our website. So go to pubsportradio.com. You'll see the Bet Online logo. Click that and sign up for an account. You'll even get a deposit match, 100% up to $1,000. So, hey, $500 into a quick 1,000 right there, and you just gamble your heart away. Bet on these baseball lines because they're much better than some places, like other people like Bovada, for example, who you could also sign up with. But shout out to our friends at Bet Online, who I have a preference towards. And I figured out recently, like everyone found out with me, I know how to bet the pitcher win props now. I finally figured it out. And I know where earned runs are now for pitchers as well. A mind-blowing achievement for me that I figured out like a week ago. So that was very nice. Both of us on the Milwaukee Brewers there. I'm hoping that this is the Brewers beating the hell out of Mets, and then my guy Buck Showalter gets shown the boot. So we'll see. And by the way, another dark horse candidate that I don't want to put out in the ether. I don't want to say this out loud, but Alex Cora, oh my gosh. He's one of the best managers in baseball. And is he going to fuck around with this Red Sox team that just continues to be average and an ownership group and all that shit? That'd be really shitty. 6th game on our card, Minnesota Twins, Atlanta Braves. And again, shout out to everyone in the chat. As always, we appreciate you guys. Hit the like button. Quinn, they don't take that long. It's pretty instant for me with Bet Online. I deposit using Bitcoin, so it's been pretty easy that way. So shout out to that, Quentin, and shout out to DX Filer, EQ, and my guy Vitalis as well. Maybe the best game on the card here, Bobano, or at least pitching matchup wise. Joe Ryan, my guy, versus Bryce Elder. Joe Ryan coming off of a complete game shutout against the Red Sox. It's quite funny to me that I've watched. He's pitched against the Red Sox 4 times now, and every time he pitches against them, like, dude, this guy is so good. Like I saw him last year, and I called him Zach Greinke 2.0, at least young Zach Greinke, when he was actually throwing hard. He just keeps doing it. He's a beast. But here's the thing: do I really want to go up against what I think is the best team in baseball in the Atlanta Braves? Best lineup in baseball. They always find pitching. Their bullpen's kind of questionable, but I'm sure they'll shore that up with their great A-plus general managers in there as well. Second best offense against righties last 2 weeks, 152 weighted runs created plus. Third for the full season, 115. Just nothing for me here. I really wanted nothing to do with this game. But I'll say this. I lean over, shockingly enough. Market-wise here, let's talk about the total. 14% of bets and 13% of money on the over, and this has allegedly gone up. Started at 8.5, not in a 9. That's red flags for me. So I lean over here as well, but I didn't move on it. But man, I'd love to hear your take on this great game.
It's not easy to make a case to fade Atlanta, but Joe Ryan at this price is hard to pass up, in my opinion. So I did dabble with the Twins here at plus 130. Obviously, we know Atlanta's the better lineup, but boy, I'll tell you what, right now, Joe Ryan's a pitcher I like to back at getting these kind of prices, and at least playing against an Atlanta team that's in the other league, they're not as familiar, and he's pitched well. Now, don't get me wrong, Bryce Elder, but there's so many things that point to him not being able to keep this up indefinitely. Like his xERA is in the 4 range, which means he's been good, but he's been a little fortuitous as well as of late. So it's not easy to, like I said, to go against Atlanta. They're playing great baseball, one of the best teams in all of baseball right now. They got everything rolling, the lineup's clicking, the starting pitching's been very solid, and of course, and now Strider maybe signs of him getting his shit together, which is even better for this Atlanta team. And of course, the bullpen's been pretty good. But you're talking about Joe Ryan, a premium pitcher. I think at this price, worth a small shot.
I think I'm going to move on the Braves. I think I'm going to move on the Braves -1, and I'm actually going to move on the over in this game as well. This is one of those days, Bobana, where I'm glad that I'm a broke bitch and my unit size is small, where I feel comfortable enough to make just a lot of bets. Unfortunately, I'm not Jimmy the Bag, and I'm not Bobano out here making $1,000 bets on individual games. I'll keep my unit size small. $25 would just spurse it out there and let it rock and roll. So this is going to be a very interesting day, to say the least, here. So Minnesota, Atlanta over 9 here as well. I'm going to enjoy that. And I'm going to do the -1 calculator right now to figure out what I can get on the Braves, because Troy Torrance mentioning in the chat the market where the line moving towards the Braves, and him mentioning that the books know when the Braves are going to win. So I'll get the -1 at -105 as well. So that's a decent price. I agree with you with my guy Bryce Elder. I don't think he can keep this up for very much longer, Bobano. But the crazy part about the Braves is he's already done it. He's already done it for this first half, and that's just like banked win for the Braves. And they're 5.5 games up or whatever. The Mets, I think, are like 18 games back of the Braves. It's crazy. So I'm excited to watch how good this Braves team can be, and I think they're the best team in baseball, and I don't think it's particularly close right now, honestly. Just top end pitching for the Braves needs to get there. So shout out to the Braves. All right, let's move on here from the Braves here, and I don't think I mentioned money line wise real quick. Actually, 60% of the bets, 54% of the money on the Braves there as well. So pretty close there. So Astros, Cardinals next game on our slate here, Boban, and I've doubled up on this game. Full game under 8, first 5 under 4 here. Weird line to start this off. No Altuve in the lineup, no Jordan obviously still. So the Astros are very handicapped here, line wise or lineup wise, and guys like Kyle Tucker have not been that great this year. That guy could be an MVP candidate if he wanted to, get his shit together for a full season, but not having a good year this year. And Jordan Montgomery has, I don't know if he's been good per se, but he's taken the ball and he's pitched decently every other start, basically. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run last time out against the Nationals. A Nationals team that we all know can hit lefties pretty decently as well. Before that, against the Giants, another good start. 6 innings, 6 and a third innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs there. And you know what's funny about this, Bobano? There's been 2 teams in the last, I think, like 2-3 years that have just routinely been bet on against lefties. The Cardinals and the White Sox. And both of those teams this year are not good against lefties. And it's pretty shocking. This month, the Cardinals are 28th against lefties, 61 weighted runs created plus. Full season, they're 102 weighted runs created plus, is 14th best. The Astros are 3rd best in this month against lefties, 125 weighted runs created plus. But I keep saying Altuve is the most important player in this lineup. It's very Aaron Judge-esque because without Altuve, this lineup is definitely missing something. So I took the unders here, and I'm going to hope for the best. Bobana, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is ridiculously cheap on Houston with Valdez over Montgomery. And I know Montgomery is capable at times. And actually in the last 3 starts, he's been good. He's given the Cardinals a chance to win, but the Astros, hit lefties well. We know that. And Valdez has been pretty much every bit as good, though. I mean, Valdez has given up just a grand total of 3, 5, 6, 7 runs in his last 6 starts combined. And that spans upwards of 42 innings. That's pretty damn impressive, too. And right now, the Astros are hitting lefties more, as you said, than the Cardinals are. The Cardinals' production against lefties has dropped off significantly. So for me, this is Houston all the way. I just went full game with this one, but I certainly would go with full game. And let's not forget, too, the situationals that are impacting St. Louis here, coming back from London, England, playing the Cubs over the weekend as well. That's not an easy turnaround either. And a long flight as well. So the scheduling isn't even on St. Louis's side here either. So, yeah, this is definitely, to me, is Houston all the way.
It's so shocking to me. I agree with DX Filer that this line is fishy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet the Cardinals, but 90% of the money and 90% of the tickets on the Astros here.
Yeah,
and it's just a weird game. Weird game. So I've stayed off sidewise. I'm hoping it's a low scoring game, but I 100% agree with you that these teams coming back from London maybe should definitely be fades here today as well. Speaking of fades, Bobano, I think you've heard me say that I don't believe in the Texas Rangers. I've called them fraudulent since day one, and I don't think they're going to make the playoffs still. And I think that we are at the very beginnings of the Texas Rangers fly.
5-6 in their last 11 games now. Yeah,
I think I really thought when I watched them during the Yankees series, I was like, are they really just going to keep getting shut down by this Yankees pitching staff, which is allegedly good, whatever, but we know they're not elite. And I think the Yankees are a borderline playoff team right there, especially without Aaron Judge, which is shocking to say. And he's out indefinitely. You hate to see that. But here's the thing, Bobano, I just don't believe anymore. I think that, honestly, I haven't moved on it yet. Maybe I'm just being safe, but I think that the Tigers should be bet here. I think we should fade the Rangers for the coming days here and see how it goes. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to take the Tigers full game money line here. Again, this is gracefully when my unit size is small and I don't have to sweat $100 bets on a Tigers team that sucks. But here's the thing, Matt Manning, come on down. Sure, 60-day IL, coming off of a broken foot. It was something with his foot. He's had 3 rehab starts and he's pitched well in all of them. 4 innings, 1 hit. Shutout ball. He did walk 5 people in his last start, which is not ideal. 6 Ks, 5 walks, but we'll take it. 3 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 2 Ks, 1 walk in the start before that. I believe in the Tigers here, and I just think the Rangers will be a fade team, and I do not think they will make the playoffs as well. So I will take the Detroit Tigers full game money line here, and it is going to be an interesting bet. Full game money line for the Tigers, our friend at Bet Online, I should say, is plus 165 there. So I'm going to write that down. Real quickly before I pass it to you, Bobano, market-wise on this game, sheesh, I didn't even check the market in this game. Look at this. 18% of bets on the Tigers, but 71% of the money on them. Shocking. 82% of the money or 82% of the bets on the Rangers, and just it's nothing. That's a surprising thing. And I've called the Rangers America's team for a while because everyone loves betting the Rangers. They're a very public squad now, or they have been for at least a couple of weeks. So I'm going to be very, very excited on this game. So I'm on the Detroit Tigers here. Bobana, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad bet. I think it's certainly the preferred side for me. I'm not laying minus 195 with what I think is a regressing Martin Perez a little bit, and we saw it in the last start. Didn't pitch great. Got roughed up by the Tigers. Let's not forget about that early in the season. Pitched against them in May, 6 runs allowed in 4.2 innings. I mean, the Tigers crushed him in that start. Now, he has been very good here at home, 1.71 ERA, but there are definitely some signs of him not pitching nearly as well here. A couple of his recent starts. And again, the Tigers hit him pretty hard as well. Manning is still someone I think could be a pretty solid pitcher. And Manning did have a good start a couple of years ago against Texas, different lineup. But, I definitely think with what you're seeing from Texas here, finally a little bit of a hiccup for them, 3 straight losses. Not the worst idea to maybe look at a Detroit side here in this one. I like the over a little bit too, because the one thing I am concerned about is Manning's walks. You do that against Texas, they can make you pay. I think Detroit's lineup can hit against Texas, though, and Perez tonight. So over 9.5, I think worth a look as well.
It's going to be a fun game. Shout out to you, Ramos. That comment got me. That was a good one. I'm excited to watch this game, like I've mentioned. And someone in the chat, again, my books don't offer these lines. I would, again, love to know what the Rangers are to not make the playoffs. Because, again, last time we checked, it was like plus 165, I believe, 185, something like that. I would love to see what it is now, but I still don't believe. So it'll be a fun game indeed to watch. Philadelphia Phillies, Chicago Cubs here, Bobano, the other team coming back from London. And honestly, Bobano, I thought this line was fishy too. I didn't bet this. I don't plan on betting this because, again, I have a lot of action, and this game is not really appealing to me either way here. But Ranger Suarez at a minus 133 here seemed pretty cheap. Bobana, what do you think?
He's been excellent lately. I mean, there's not much to say. I mean, other than that, I mean, he's been really good, Ranger Suarez. And for a guy, I've never been a big fan of him, but man, he's been really good. And I'm actually going to back him here tonight. Again, same situation as we talked about with St. Louis. I mean, a cheap price. It's the better team, the Phillies, in my opinion, better starter. Tyone's not any good. 5.94 ERA, over 7 ERA at Wrigley this year. He hasn't had a very good season. Cubs can't hit lefties consistently. And you got the Cubs coming back from London, England, 48 hours turnaround, just like St. Louis. Not a bet on spot, in my opinion. Not at all. So, yeah, for me, Philadelphia here. Money line, full game.
Yeah, I'd agree wholeheartedly with you there. I'd be right there with you, honestly, if I had to make a bet in this game. Market-wise, real quick before we touch on from this game, 70% of bets and 85% of money on the Phillies. That's pretty crazy. Totals-wise, it is, wow, Jesus. 68% of bets and 96% of the money on the under. And it hasn't moved at all. It's just stuck at 8.5. Interesting. Honestly, I lean over now after that. But I won't be playing this game, like I said, so I'll just move right along. Shout out to Rocco dropping Harper props in there as well. Little Harper over bases, home run, and first 5 there as well. Let's move on here, and shout out to everyone. Jacqueline, Rick J, DX Filer, all in here as well. We appreciate you guys being a part of the show and commenting along. Guardians Royals next game. First 5 under here, Bobano. For me, it's shocking. I got this at a 5. I thought it would be a 4.5. I got a 5 minus 105 here for me. I understand Brady Singer has not been everyone's favorite pitcher. We all expected him to take another step forward. I thought, maybe being in Team USA would help him, but didn't help him at all. And Gavin Williams is coming off of his debut, getting touched up against the Royals. It just kind of felt like an easy spot for me, honestly, Bobano. The Guardians offense that has just not been that good this year. Last 2 weeks against righties has been particularly good, which is shocking to say, but I'll take my bigger sample size. Last 2 weeks, 12th best, 112 weighted runs created plus, so very respectable. But full season, 89 weighted runs created plus is 22nd. The Royals are obviously bad against everyone here. Worst against righties, full season. But last 2 weeks, again, they also been hitting a little bit better. 19th, 101 weighted runs created plus. I just don't believe that those offenses are as good as they have been hitting. Gavin Williams, I honestly think Gavin Williams can blank the Royals by himself.
Yep.
So if you're giving me 5 runs with Brady Singer and the Guardians here, allegedly, I'd like to see it happen. I just don't think these offenses can do it. So will I be angry if it becomes a 3-3 ball game after 5? Yes, but I'll still be happy I made the bet. First 5 under 5 minus 105 for me.
Yeah, I like Cleveland here. First 5 full game split. I think better team. I think Gavin Williams is better than Brady Singer. Brady Singer much of this year hasn't been any good for the Kansas City Royals. Now he's been a little bit better lately. Cleveland is not a consistent offense. We know that. So the under does make sense here, no question. But I like the Cleveland side even more. I think Gavin Williams is bet on material. He's got great stuff. He's one of the highly thought of pitching prospects in this organization. There's nothing that I saw from Gavin in his debut against Oakland that would dissuade me from that. He's got good swing and miss ability. And I think he's going to continue to get better as things go on. And again, we're talking about Singer with a 5.84 ERA at home. So I like Cleveland here, full game, first half split. I think he'll shut down Kansas City. And I like his strikeout prop as well, over 4.5, minus 120.
Interesting. So I'm glad we're on the same side-ish there. I mean, Gavin Williams, we're going to both expect to have a good start here. I mean, he was one of the top prospects for the Guardians, and they do pitching right. So it's just one of those things where you trust the organizations that make you believe in their pitching. So let's move on here into our next slate. Let's go to the Dodgers versus the Rockies here. And we have a minus 300 here. And I'm sure the question that everyone's asking him is, am I going to fade Clayton Kershaw on the road here in Coors? It's not on my card yet. I will admit that. I am leaning towards the plus 1.5. I've even seen like plus 2s, out there. But really, Boban, I was leaning under in this game too. And that's obviously terrifying to bet, with Connor Seabold, who gave up fucking 9 runs against the Braves on his own. And could you easily see that happening here? 100%. But the Dodgers offense last 2 weeks against righties, 26, 84 weighted runs created plus, a little bit of slump. Max Muncy is coming back today, allegedly. No confirmed lineup out there for the Dodgers yet. But he'd be a Jack of the Day candidate for me if you guys would be interested in that. And we know what the Rockies are against lefties in general. And Clayton Kershaw, I'm sure I've seen this Rockies team plenty of times, has pitched in Coors plenty of times to where I think he could pitch well here. Total was at a 12 earlier today, now down to an 11.5. So I don't know here, Bobano. I definitely lean under. What do you think?
Yeah, in this game, this is tough because Kershaw has not got a good track record here at Coors Field. We know that. We've seen it play out repeatedly. But this season's numbers for Colorado against lefties are atrocious. They're abysmal, and I like Kershaw over strikeouts personally. That's the bet I made here in this game. This could be one of those games where he gives up 2 or 3 home runs. He gives up 4 or 5 runs and still can get 7 or 8 strikeouts. You know what I mean? It's got that feel to it, this game for Clayton Kershaw, because the Colorado Rockies are just an automatic to get KO'd and K'd by lefty pitching this year. They're brutal in terms of striking out against lefties. I think it could happen here tonight, and I don't want to back Kershaw because, like I say, a line for him tonight of 6.1 innings pitched, 5 runs allowed, but 8 strikeouts, I could see it. But I do think he can get over 6.5 strikeouts, and it's at a plus price against a brutal team hitting lefty pitching. I can't turn that down.
I'm going to make one of the weirdest bets of my year, I think, here. I'm going to take Colorado plus 2.5. You can get that at even money. That's crazy. I mean,
normally we think the Dodgers crush bad right-handed pitching, and Seabold probably is, but not lately. You're right. This lineup has not been sharp the last couple of weeks.
This is going to be a very interesting day for me, Bobano, because this, I think, you obviously influenced this, Bobano. This will be one of my heavier days of the year, and I've had 2 bad days back to back here. And I would really like to bounce back day here, and it'd be really nice if it happened today, because today is a fucking heavy slate here for me. Nathan Sardina saying Rockies plus 1.5 isn't too bad here. Yeah, plus 160. I definitely thought about it here, but I'm just terrified of what Connor Seabold is going to give me. Just terrified about it, especially because Monty's coming back, big bat. LG, I could see him getting a home run here, but we'll see. We'll see here. And maybe this will make me feel like a fucking idiot later tonight. But plus 2.5 even money for the Rockies here. Let's keep it close, Colorado. Let's just keep it respectable. White Sox Angels here. Another great game because we have the greatest of all time, the greatest to ever do it. Shohei Ohtani pitching. Oh my God. Bobano, every time he pitches, we just need to take a moment to just acknowledge that he's the best baseball player we'll ever see play baseball in all of our collective lives. Better than Barry, better than A-Royds, better than Jeter, better than them all. And it's tough to bet him. It's always tough to bet him because the lines are always juiced. And if they're not juiced, then it just feels like they're telling everyone, oh, bet on Ohtani because, we know he's going to get touched up today. But, last 2 starts this is a classic Ohtani here. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 0-2 loss there against the Dodgers. Classic. Against the aforementioned Rangers, who I don't believe in anymore. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 5-3 victory there. The White Sox offense has been horrific. It's literally just been Luis Robert. And these White Sox burned me because I took them first 5 full game yesterday. I pushed first 5. They lose on a stupid walk-off wild pitch yesterday as well. So I wanted nothing to do with this game, honestly. It is interesting, Bobano. This total has went from 8 to 8.5. So maybe they're expecting some runs here. And it's fascinating because 55% of bets and 68% of the money on the under here as well. And that line jumped up. So just a weird game for me, and I passed.
Yeah, this one, Angels should win. I'd put them in a parlay or two, even without Trout. That's why the Angels now, or the White Sox money has come in because of that. They can still, I think, win this game. I don't trust Kopech. I think Kopech actually over strikeouts, and I love Ohtani over strikeouts as well. Chicago got K'd double digits by Reed Detmers last night, and actually I had Cease over strikeouts, and I was mad I didn't have Detmers over strikeouts as well. That should have been a dual strikeout prop game for me last night, and it wasn't. I'm obviously happy. I still had Cease over strikeouts, that one easily, but should have had both of them. I think this game, both of them. I mean, both these lineups are striking out quite a bit lately. No question about that. Kopech, as we know, he's got an electric arm. It's just he doesn't always harness it. He's wild sometimes. Walks an issue. Home runs an issue. But we know he can get swings and misses. So his strikeout prop to me is worth a look in tonight's ball game. Over 6.5 strikeouts for Kopech here, plus 110. And certainly I like Ohtani over 7.5 strikeouts, minus 140. I definitely think this is a K-prop game both ways. Think the Angels win. But if you're going to bet it, put them in a parlay, or you can go the -1 route.
What a weird line this is. Trout's out, and it goes from 8 to 8.5. What the fuck is this? Pass game.
I'm betting over with these lineups and these 2 pitchers, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't get it. So I passed this game fairly easily. I can't wait to watch the greatest to ever do it pitch again, because he is, again, the best baseball player we'll ever watch, ever in our collective lifetimes. New York Yankees, Oakland A's here. And unfortunately, I mean, I guess I kind of feel like a dumbass. I don't know. I took I'm sure you're on first 5 A's with me here. This is Paul Blackburn, king of the first 5 innings. I took a money line here. The line has moved towards the Yankees. There's a minus 130 plus 108 earlier today here. But I actually would like to check the first 5 lines because we all know how this goes. Blackburn goes out there, pitches well enough to get a first 5 victory. And then the A's bullpen blows the game, and it's funny on Bovada, it's moved even more. Minus 142 for the Yankees, plus 119 for the A's here. But first 5 lines are just comedy. First 5 money line, minus 110 for the Oakland A's. I don't know if I've seen a bigger difference this year so far, and again, it's obviously because the king of the first 5 innings, Paul Blackburn, and we know how this game's going to go. But that's shocking. I absolutely leaned under in this game too, as well, Bobano, because Johnny Brito is competent enough to pitch well against a bad A's offense, and the Yankees lineup continues to be the best under lineup out there. So I leaned under, but I didn't move on it. I just took first 5 money line there for the A's, minus 107 for me.
Yeah, this is the one game of this entire card that I just had no interest betting, no opinion on it, no strength whatsoever. I mean, certainly it looks cheap for the Yankees, even with their problems offensively right now. They did take 2 or 3 from Texas. We have to give them that, credit to them for that. And this definitely is value on the Yankees. There's no value in Oakland. Oakland's a horrendous team, and I know they played a little bit better the last couple of weeks, but to only get them at plus 115, it just feels like can't take them at that price, can't take Blackburn at that price. But am I rushing to lay the price with the Yankees, again, with Brito on the mound? Not anything to write home about, and they'll travel as well to the West Coast. No, so it's a pass.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch a second of this ball game. I will just continue checking in on Paul Blackburn's first 5 innings. And by the way, I think my last 2 or 3 Paul Blackburn bets, first 5s, have all cashed on the plus a halves and not money lines. And it's not a surprise that they put the plus a half at minus 150 here today. So we'll see how that develops here as well. But I'm on the A's here, and we'll see how it all rocks out. 2 more games for us here. We appreciate all you guys as well in the chat. Spenny Penny Bombs dropping his action in the chat. A bunch of player props in there. Shout out to you, my man there. Let's go to a good game here. And we've got a lot of good pitching matchups here today as we look through the card. Zach Gallen at home. A different animal, different breed versus Taj Bradley, who's been good in his own right. This is honestly was another game that I was like, am I going to bet the under here? Went from 8.5 to now an 8. We know what Gallen does at home, but this feels like it should be a Gallen first 5 minus a half, kind of action here because of just how good he is at home. It's just the Rays have been such a juggernaut that it maybe scares me off a little bit. I have not bet that, but it's obvious that's my lean here. Bobana, what'd you have?
Strikeout props both ways again. Another one of these games. Taj Bradley over strikeouts, Zach Gallen over strikeouts. I want to back both of these pitchers. I like both of these pitchers. I don't want to take either team against these pitchers. So when I have an opinion like that, we go with the strikeout prop on both sides. And I think you're going to see it. Bradley is 5.5 at plus 105. And he racked it up the last start he had against Baltimore. And you notice the last couple of starts, he had one against Boston too, ringing them up. And I think he can get swings and misses here. And same thing for Gallen here against the Rays, who all of a sudden have seen their strikeout numbers climb the last couple of weeks, where they've certainly looked a lot more human. Let's put it that way, the Tampa Bay Rays. So Gallen over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 145. And for Taj Bradley, it's over 5.5 strikeouts plus 105.
Just because of the sheer amount of action I have, I do not want to back Gallen here, but in my head, I just feel like that's not a good enough reason, unfortunately. So I've got Arizona first 5, and I'm gonna have to pay the fucking juice for it, unfortunately, because I'm late to the party. Minus 133 for me here, and I don't want to. I do not enjoy laying that first 5 minus a half anymore. Bobano, this is maybe just a me thing. But just, I don't know. I don't even have like stats to back this up with my gambling, but I've always just leaned to taking those money lines and leaving the push out for me. It's just, I don't know. I guess I've lost too many 2-2s, 1-1, 0-0s. et cetera, et cetera. So Gallon here with the crew. Shout out to you, Rod.
Take your pick. I mean, Zach Gallen at home has turned into Randy Johnson, Cy Young, Bob Gibson. That's what he pitches like essentially here on the home field this year. He's been just incredible in the desert.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why we're backing him here. Let's shut down the Rays offense. Last game on our card here, and thankfully for me, I have nothing on this game. Just nothing doing here. I appreciate my guy, Brian. Woo! Going here, and he's turned out to be a pretty good pitcher. But I'm still heartbroken from last night, tripling up on the fucking Nationals. Dom Smith should be investigated for throwing that fifth inning for us, just lobbing that ball to first base for fucking nobody. It still just makes me angry. Just like, because he saw the ball hit the pitcher and he saw the pitcher just standing there looking for the ball. Who was covering the base? I just don't understand. And then, of course, that run scores. We lose the first 5 innings. And then from there, everything just goes to shit. I just cannot believe it. So I'm still very angry about it. I don't even want to watch this game. Fuck the Nationals. Fuck the Mariners, too. So pass game for me.
Yeah, well, Brian Wu is definitely someone to keep an eye on for the Seattle Mariners. He's got electric arm. He's got really good stuff. I can't say the same about Jake Irvin, although I will say he's pitched better his last couple starts against Miami and Arizona. That being said, 0-7 are the Nationals in his last 7 starts. They haven't been winning for him. Brian Wu's been really good here last 3 starts. And the Yankees, the White Sox, the Angels, and he's given up just 4 runs in his last 14 innings of work. He's got swing and miss ability, and we have seen that certainly from him in his last few starts, which is good to see. Certainly, I think he's capable of neutralizing the Nationals to a certain degree here. I'm on Seattle -0.5 first 5 innings with at -145, and going to go back to the well once again after having it the other night with the Yankees. Brian Wu with the strikeout prop as well. Over 5.5 +115.
Dan, this is going to be a gigantic day for me. My hands are sweating, and it's not going to be fun. You know what's fucked up, Bobano, too? As everyone says, I'm a fat slob. I've got sweet tea tits, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm actually doing physical activities tonight, Bobano. I'm going to the outside world and doing things that will make me sweat.
Wow.
Playing a sport, which means I won't be watching all of these games and sweating my ass off. What's going to happen is I'm going to be playing, and then there's just going to be a random thought that goes across my head that goes, what if Connor Siebold already gave up 16 runs? Or what if Jordan Montgomery shit his pants and the unders have already lost? And it's just going to be racking my brain. So I'm definitely going to be playing with one of my headphones and listening to all the baseball games, hopefully. So it'll be a whole lot of fun, Boban. It's going to be an interesting night. I will start here on our recap because I think, I don't want to say it, Bobano. I don't want to challenge you here, but this might be the first show that I might have more action than you on the program. So this is going to be very interesting. And it's probably not true, but it's funny to say either way. Red Sox double up here. Money line and first 5, both at -119. First 5 full game. Cleveland Guardians, Royals, first 5 under 5, -105. Excuse me. Oakland A's, first 5 money line, -107. Milwaukee, first 5 +0.5, -115. The double up in Houston, St. Louis Cardinals there. Under 8 and under 4, -117 for the full game, -110 for first 5. Show additions, one that I did not mention and I should have mentioned. Shout out to my guy, Mike M. Mike M knows how to get me to bet his ribeye plays of the day. Of course, his today, Andres Jimenez, +170. Venezuelan, gotta bet it. So shout out to you, Mike M. Milwaukee full game money line. +133. The over in Minnesota, Atlanta, over 9, -110 there. Atlanta full game -1, -105. Detroit money line +165. Colorado +2.5, even money. And last but not least, Arizona first 5 money line -133. Jesus Christ, I am already sweating.
Yeah, I know you've got an incredible amount of bets there. And like I say, you might be rivaling me here tonight on this card. But let's see what we got. We got San Diego, Pittsburgh over 9.5 -102. Milwaukee +130. Philadelphia -125. Detroit, Texas over 9.5 +100. Cleveland first 5 -122. Full game -135 split. Toronto -0.5, -130 first 5. Toronto -1 full game as well. The Gossman over strikeouts and to record a win. Boston -125. Minnesota +135. Houston -110. Seattle first 5 -145, -0.5, -145. Clayton Kershaw over 6.5 strikeouts +120. Gavin Williams over 4.5 strikeouts -120. Michael Kopech over 6.5 strikeouts +110. Shohei Ohtani over 7.5 strikeouts -140. Andrew Abbott over 5.5 strikeouts +110. Tyler Wells over 5.5 strikeouts -120. As I mentioned, Gausman over 6.5 strikeouts -140. Taj Bradley over 5.5 strikeouts +120. Zach Gallen over 5.5 strikeouts -145. And Brian Wu over 5.5 strikeouts +115.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you had more.
Well, the props is what adds to it. I think sides and totals you had more, but
I know it's a good time. Yeah. So, and by the way, transparency's sake, I absolutely split my units when I do the first 5 full games there. So I still bet a full unit on the game, my $25 or whatever. And then I split them up into 2 bets. So for those people who are like, Jose has $350 out there. No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So, and plus that's like 3 Jimmy bets. So it's not that big of a deal anyways. It's very funny. Shout out to Sabino and Guano. I haven't seen that name in a while. Appreciate you, my man. Thanks for dropping in at the end of the show here. Rem Most, by the way, kept count. 14 plays for me, 23 for you. So yeah, you didn't even come close. It's hilarious.
Should have known better to even think that. Yeah,
I know. I had the thought. I was like, wow, there's a lot of plays, and then I started hearing all the K props, and I was like, no, I'm not even close, am I? So that's very funny. AOD in here, Nathan Serdna, Andrew G. Rocco, Preston jumped in here as well. Appreciate you guys. Nicholas Jabinski as well, by the way, dropping some MPB. Tanishi Dragons unders have been hitting. So shout out to him. Spenny Penny Bombs, Rick J in here as well. Rick J, we miss you in the mornings. Rick J. I do like saying crybaby pussy in one word now, but we miss you, my man. So I appreciate you, my guy. Parl Angel in the Coachella Valley. Shout out to you, my guy, Rob McMahon. And again, Sabino and Guano. Shout out to you. He says Orioles and thank me later.
Got to move on from that tough hockey loss in the Calder Cup final there, Parl Angel. Yeah.
Oh, shame for them. I'm still not over Vegas taking all of our teams, Bobano. Took the Silver Stars, took our fucking hockey team. I missed the Rampage. I missed
San Antonio. That's a great point. Yeah, it's Henderson Silver Knights now. Yeah.
These bastards. They just keep taking everything from San Antonio. Sons of bitches. Bobano, I appreciate you as always. I hope you're enjoying your mini vacation here, even though you're still capping every day, doing your thing. Appreciate it as always. I hope our Tie Cats are doing well or are turning it around very soon.
Hopefully. We're still waiting on that. Yeah.
Are we 0-3 now?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Sons of bitches. All right. You know what? I'll make some calls into their front office.
We have a bye week and next week they're at home again. If they lose that game too, then I'm not going to be as forgiving.
I'll make a call, Bobano. I'll hit up the front office and I'll give them some quarterback recommendations.
Yeah.
I'll say this, Bobano. We have one here in San Antonio, a lefty that, maybe he'll fuck around and join the CFL. Who knows? Frank Harris.
He'd be good in that league. He really would. Yeah.
That'd be great. All you guys, we appreciate you guys. DX, my man, thank you for commenting at the poker table as well. We'll see you guys next time for another edition of Say Hey Plays. Bobano, when's the next time you're going to be on the program? All right, on any program, I should say.
Yeah, it'll be this show next Tuesday because this is the week we're not on Friday with Jimmy. We'll be on next Friday with Jimmy, first Friday of July 7th.
Beautiful. Thank you, Bobano. As always, say hey, everyone on social media, at Bobano, at Jose Bouquett, and we'll see you guys next time for another edition of Say Hey Plays.